monsters, just afraid to show our colors. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad.
Okay, so what I got here is a 2016 Indian Roadmaster, and I've had it not quite a year yet, but I put a lot of miles on it, and so I thought I should do a review on it. But I'm gonna jump on it, get it started, and ride it around a bit, and then do the review. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the features and everything in this motorcycle, but first, while I'm riding, I'm just going to be talking about a little bit about my experience with this motorcycle, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, everything like that. So I bought this motorcycle used. It had, I believe it was 2,000 miles on it when I bought it, and so I have 8,000 miles on it now. So I think I put more than enough miles on it to do an accurate review. When I first bought this motorcycle, say I bought it used, I didn't get the instruction manual or anything with it. When I very first bought it, the key fob looked like it had been ran over by a car or something. Key fob was in sad shape. And so one day at work, I came out of work and I went and started the motorcycle, and it started, but then I put it in gear, and then it started, the lights started flashing and the horn was honking, and it just, engine shut off. I had no idea what was going on, so I shut it off, started it again, it just kept doing that. I realized that it didn't have, it was losing connection with the security system. So I went and walked down to a automotive store, and I replaced the battery in the key fob. That didn't help at all. So I then called a couple Indian dealers, and finally I got one that was willing to help. The one in Rogers, Arkansas, the Indian Motorcycle of Northwest Arkansas. Anyhow, they were really helpful. Helped me to get the security code so I can start it, and told me that I had some recalled items on the bike, and so I went ahead and scheduled it, got it started. I was able to go to work and everything, and I went and got those recalled items taken care of. And then after I got those recalled items taken care of, and everything, I haven't had any issues with the motorcycle until the windshield stopped working. This motorcycle's got a power windshield, buttons right here, and right now the windshield is working, but it's kind of intermittent. Well, not too long after I bought it, I had to replace the windshield. Or not the windshield exactly, I had to replace the windshield switch, which wasn't a lot of fun. And then that was in July, and it's December, and it's having issues. So it shouldn't be, I wasn't even using the windshield much, or the windshield switch much. I was trying not to wear it out, because I thought maybe that's why it went out. But yeah, so that's a huge failing. After I got all the recalled items taken care of, I rode it from Joplin, Missouri to Fort Worth, Texas for the Get On Moto Fest, which was a lot of fun. And it handled absolutely well, even going at interstate speeds. If I needed to speed up and pass somebody, I didn't have to shift down from 6th gear. The cruise worked really well. It was super comfortable, decent gas mileage, and the radio worked really well. I was able to I was able to link my phone to the Indian radio and then link the radio to my headset so I could hear phone calls or listen to the radio or whatever else I wanted. So I haven't had any issues there. It's super comfortable. I actually would kind of like to have a backrest for longer trips, but other than that, it's not bad. The seat itself is comfortable. With my last motorcycle, it was a naked bike, and so sometimes I would be going on a road trip or somewhere, and it would be windy, and I'd say, yeah, screw that, and I'd go back and take the car. But this one handles really well in the wind, basically because it's got fairings and everything, and because of the weight. Also, you wouldn't think so, but because it's a big, heavy motorcycle, but it handles pretty well on the twisties. Not quite as well as the Vulcan S did, but it handles really well in the twisties. I can generally go about 5 over what the speed limit in the curve says without any issues. And on this motorcycle would be capable of going faster than that, I'm sure. The only time I ever scrape anything is when I'm going around roundabouts sometimes. But despite this being a big, heavy motorcycle, it's really a lot of fun in the twisties. It's got good acceleration. It doesn't have too much vibration when you're moving. The heated hand grips are super duper nice. Actually, I haven't ridden, since I've had this one, I haven't ridden in cold enough weather that I have wanted to have the hand grips in their highest setting, because they go from 0 to 10, and by 8 my hands are about on fire. And this also has passenger and driver heated seats, and it's got 2 levels. So there's been a few mornings when I've utilized the heated seat, and it's really great. This handles the twisties really well. Yeah, it feels a lot more nimble than you would expect for a motorcycle of this size. Really, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. Really, my only really 2 complaints that I've ever had about this motorcycle is, number 1, the power windshield is not reliable, and I think that's one of the worst things Indian Motorcycle ever decided to do, was put a power windshield. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, and I'll show you when I stop, but there's a bit of a hesitation in the throttle. It's not like the other motorcycles I've ridden, or even like Harley, where as soon as you turn the throttle, you've got throttle. There's a little bit of a little bit of a delay before you actually have throttle. And once you ride it a while and you get used to it, it's fine, but that's one thing that I'm not like super crazy about. But with those 2 things, that's not really a big deal at all. Just those 2 small things. And but I mean, this is a really fun motorcycle. It's like riding a couch strapped to a rocket. I mean, right now I'm in 3rd gear and just cruising along at 2,000 RPM. But even without shifting down, easily accelerates, and it's got tons of torque. When I have my wife ride with me, there's only I mean, it's a little bit noticeable that there's a second person on there. It handles slightly different, but not in a negative way. Power wise, it doesn't really notice that there's extra weight, and brake wise it's really not much difference either. Also, before, one of the things I do is I'm gonna at some point take this on the interstate and show you how fast the acceleration is. But right now I'm just gonna cruise around a little bit and look for a place to stop and talk about the motorcycle. Yeah, so the one thing about the throttle I mentioned is this. See how far you have to turn it before you actually start to get throttle? There's a little bit of a hesitation where on most other motorcycles there's not. So I'm going to go over from this side some of the features. So you can see we got speakers here, we got speakers here. We've got a 111 cubic inch Thunderstroke oil cooled and air cooled engine. You got a oil cooler up here, but basically it's an air cooled engine but also has an oil cooler. You've got these big comfortable floorboards. You've got comfortable passenger floorboards. The engine itself is beautiful. You've got good looking, good sounding exhaust. Got these highway pegs. You got full fairings up here. There's vents that you can open so you can get a little bit more airflow. Got a large fuel tank so you can make long trips. Of course, you've got over here, you've got cruise control. You got also speakers up here. You have a power windshield, which I've already mentioned. The power windshield is not as advertised. Well, it is if it works right, but I'm not the only one that's had issues with this power window. On the Indian forums, there's lots of people that have issues with these power windows. So Indian, if you're listening, just make a windshield that either not a power windshield, one that you just adjust manually or something, because this doesn't work. You can't just be spending $100 and whatever dollars it is, or a whole lot more than that if you have the shop do it, to replace the switch every 3 or 4 months. So you've got absolutely beautiful leather stitches, stitched leather seats. Got a big pouch here, which that pouch I just used for my toll money. You got an absolutely large, comfortable passenger accommodations. You've got large removable luggage on both sides, and the right hand side has a power outlet inside. Also, you've got this big trunk that has ample room inside. It also has a charging outlet inside of it. And I can tell you this, the luggage on these is great. I've taken several trips on this motorcycle and I didn't want for luggage room. And I rode through some intense downpours and I did not have any issues whatsoever with any of my stuff getting wet. If you have something that you don't want it to get too hot though, you might want to put it in here and not here, because these will ride right over the exhaust. On this side, of course, it's basically the same, but you've got the beautiful Indian logo. You can see it's got the 111 cubic inch. And again, you got another luggage on this side. This one does not have power as far as power outlet, but all of the luggage is power locking, either with the key fob itself or up here, and it will only unlock when the key fob is within distance, or if you put in the security code. Up front, we got big nice shocks. Got this beautiful looking area up here, And you got a bright headlight and some fog lights, and as well as this lights up. That's really pretty. And we got dual brakes, dual brake rotors on the front and single on the rear. And I can tell you, riding this thing at night, and I've done quite a bit of that I have absolutely no issues at all seeing down the road, especially when I have the opportunity to turn the brights on. But with my last motorcycle, the first thing I did is replace the headlights with the LEDs, but this is extremely bright. I don't have any complaints about the lights. So I've talked a bit about what I like about this motorcycle and some of its features. I'm going to go ahead and get on the road, and I'm going to take it on the interstate so I can show you how it handles on and how it accelerates and everything like that. All right, here we go. So yeah, the cruise control, you just hit the button and you reach up and hit this with your thumb. Cruise control set. Anyhow, I've really enjoyed this motorcycle. For as long as I've had it, I have very few negative things to say about it. It's absolutely a pleasure to ride. It's like I say, it's like riding a couch with, well, it was like riding a couch strapped to a rocket. So I absolutely love this motorcycle. It's basically everything I want in a motorcycle. And so in order for me to ever switch for another motorcycle, it's going to have all the features this says. I imagine I'll eventually wind up with a HD, but it's going to be a while. It'll be a while before I get a Harley Davidson motorcycle because, well, lots of reasons. I kind of got a lot of financial things going on right now and all kinds of stuff. So, but this motorcycle is everything that I need in a motorcycle. So I'll probably have this one for at least a few more years. So, but I absolutely love it. It's a great motorcycle. And if you have any questions about it or anything like that, let me know down in the comments down below. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. And I will catch you in my next video.